We are here with Skylar. We were just discussing something that it really caught my attention because I've seen something she was explaining me. It's about the energy in homes. And I mean, I used to train when I was 16, 17. That was quite many years ago. And I've seen that happen a lot. Like, I've seen puppies that have this wonderful outgoing temperament with a lot of drive and a lot of desire to work and high prey drive sometimes, and they love the ball and everything. And I've worked with them many times and I finish the training with them and everything. I send them, they take them home. And then months later, I go and see the puppy and I see that their temperament has really gone down. Their energy is not there anymore, the beautiful energy that they have. And I always wondered, when I was young, I didn't have the knowledge that you acquire throughout all of these years and training other dogs too. And I say, and I am a believer, a true believer of energy. And I'm a true believer that if you have a person next to you that has that type of cloudy energy that I call, you get it contagious, and you feel it. And if you're not strong enough to fight it, it can affect you too. So I always try to surround myself with people that are up and going and have ideas and be creative and that they keep me on my feet because as I'm getting older, I need that. And I worry, back to the dogs, I worry many, many times and I didn't understand at the beginning, until I started believing in things about energy. And she was telling me a story today about somebody that she knows, it's going to be anonymous, that has a couple of dogs, no? Mm-hmm. Correct? And she was asking me that it was very strange that these dogs come from fantastic bloodlines, bloodlines that I know, and I have them here too because I know those bloodlines very well, but that when they're working, they're very diminished. There are many. What's the word you would use?
I would say that there's very low amounts of courage. They are very shut down almost.
Shut down.
Yeah.
And they don't have the interest.
Yes.
And then we wonder, and I've seen that too. If it's the energy in the home, mm-hmm. maybe. Would you say maybe sometimes people don't really realize that they can feel that from us? And maybe they're being overwhelming, basically? What would you say a type of home that could create that type of situation on the dog?
So I noticed that a lot of people tend to have almost like an anxiety sometimes, you know. And the dogs, they really feed off of that. So I have even had clients who the dogs in the house, very stressed, very emotional, the dogs are. And, I go to train, and the dogs do great with me. They're fine. They really understand what I'm teaching them. And then I leave, and then all of a sudden, it's the dog's regressing, the dog's kind of completely backpedaling in progress. And it takes a while, but sometimes it kind of gives you a picture almost of what could be happening in the home. If there's a lot going on, sometimes dogs do not thrive on that. And, if you have a household with, kids who are very energy up here, it's always like almost like a frantic energy. Sometimes puppies feed off of that, and it creates this dog that's just always hyperactive, like what's going on, and just looking around, very stressed almost because it's used to the stress in the household being all the way up
all
here.
the way up there.
And some dogs that I see, they come from fantastic bloodlines, very strong workers, dogs that are very correct, mm-hmm. and in terms of the standard, I see them, they go home. They're excellent puppies, and then within a couple months, even, you slowly start to see the dog just go downhill in terms of performance and temperament. And, that's why I was asking, because I was like, at first I wasn't sure of the dog's lines, and I'm like, what about this dog that I know, I'm seeing, like, it was perfect originally, and then it slowly just started to go down. Maybe the household's energy has something to do with that, right? And, we talked about that. And it was a very interesting conversation because we even talked about our own dogs, because I noticed that sometimes, even my own dogs, if I'm stressed out over something or I have, like, for example, events coming up, I'm just stressed out, sometimes my dogs feed off of that. They start to get frantic in the house. They don't want to be in there. They want to sit outside. They cause problems for me, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's really... what I'm noticing, it's really about the energy and how you carry yourself in your house, in the way that you interact with each other. If you keep your energy neutral, I tend to see that the dogs really receive that really well, and they start to be neutral too.
Yeah. The situation is that, how do you control that? Like, you train a dog, you do your best, but you cannot control the household energy. And it gets to a point that it's quite confusing, because how do you explain to a person, hey, things in your house are not really going the best for the dog? I mean, that's not nice.
No.
There's no way to explain that to a person, you see? And I know that many times they don't even do it on purpose.
No.
It's just who they are. You see? And the household is what it is. And then they say, why my dog is this when he's not giving the perfect performance, and then they're getting all, upset. And how do you explain those people, Because you're not going to tell them, hey, you have to change your whole household energy, That's why, the Germans, they keep their dogs in crates. And a lot of people keep dogs in crates, which many people say, oh, that's bad, that's wrong. But if you realize that your household is not the best place for the dog, because you cannot control that energy because of whomever is sharing the household with you, then your dog should be away from that. Would you say protect it?
Yes. I actually really like keeping them. If I can, I always tell my clients that if you have a spot away from the house, like another room, a spare room, that's where I would recommend putting the dog's crate at, because that way there's no
contamination,
there's no activity outside of the crate. It's just relaxed. And a lot of people, they originally, at first, they think that that's kind of mean because the dog's not involved. But I always have to explain that the dogs actually prefer that. And if you teach yourself, if you are a person with, just your energy's you kind of have like a little bit of anxiety and stuff like that, I always tell people when it's time to train the dog or, exercise the dog, take a couple deep breaths and relax. You want to enjoy your time with your dog, because if you are calm and your energy's calm, the dog's going to really feed off of that, and he's going to relax too,
That's why they say the important is who's at the end of the leash.
Yes.
I always heard that. And with horses, it's the same thing. I used to remember I was on the waiting gate to go and do the events, and my heart would start boom, 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 and his heart was boom, 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 boom too, because he knew, we were both going into that. So it's true, as I grew older and I learned more about energy and I saw it.
Yes.
It's different to read about it, to get yourself involved, but when you really see it and see it and see it, you say, this is for real, So that's why the service dogs work too.
Yes.
That's why the service dog. Many people say, I didn't train my dog for a service dog, but he knows when I'm with anxiety. He knows when I am depressed. I said, yes. They know. You don't have to train them. They know. What you have to train is task.
Yes.
Yeah. But for them to identify how you're feeling, they know. Immediately, the energy knows. So guys, this is just like a podcast, more or less, that we have done here. It was just a topic we were talking this morning when she came over to pick up some dogs. And I said, you know what? we need to do a video on this because I know many trainers think the way that we do and might be running into the same problems. You know, they say, I train the dog well, but the dog is, I can't control the energy in the home where he lives. So, I mean, share with us and share your opinions. It would be great. And let us know if you always also have that type of problem sometimes. It would be good. So subscribe and I'll see you then. Thank you.